In this video, I'll cover something that's really important, especially on days like today. And this could be any day in trading, okay? So it doesn't matter what the date is today. Is that right now, so I look at our portfolio and I'm looking at, okay, some of it, a lot of it's down more than we typically would like. We didn't take stop losses on some things just because we do see the upside potential on a lot of the things that we acquired. So we let our stop losses, I'd say, go down a little bit more than usual, right? And this is where most people are tempted, especially on a day like today, like a slow day, or like maybe you're itching to trade. You don't see a lot of trade opportunities. Really, there's a lot of psychological things that go into what's happening now, right? It's a Sunday, so it could be a slow day for that. Bitcoin seems to be consolidating at a certain price right now. So one of the things to kind of keep in mind, this is the point of this video, which is like, you should, whenever you're not sure, right? One of the challenges that you can get into when you're trading, especially cryptocurrency, is that you get tunnel vision. Okay, you get tunnel vision on your own positions. You get tunnel vision on where you're at. You get tunnel vision on maybe who you're listening to. You get tunnel vision in conversations, whatever it is, right? So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to get out of that tunnel vision by looking at a couple different sites, and all these links will be down below in the description, but a couple different sites to see what is the overall market doing. And that's the key. See, you're not outside this market. You're not outside the cryptocurrency market. You are the market. I'm not saying that you're a market maker, but you are the market. That's one of the things that I think people should, if you're trading, especially alts and Bitcoin and everything else, you're a market participant. You're not just someone on the outside looking in. You're participating in the market. So understanding where the market is one of the things you should be doing. So these sites, I'll just go over and share with you what I'm looking for and what I'm looking at. And here's what I'm looking at. And this is the overall reason for all this. We're looking, should we exit these positions now? Or is this a down cycle? And then let's say it's Sunday today, will Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, right? And this happens a lot. This is why you really have to divest yourself psychologically from your position sometimes and look at it objectively and say, and I'm sure a lot of people have done this, they've exited positions and then maybe a day later or 2 days later or 3 days later, the thing just moons, right? Or it just goes up and it's within your profit window or exceeds your profit window, right? I'm sure that happens to everybody. I'm not saying that you should blindly stay in positions. I'm just saying that you should look at the market overall. So let's jump in. That's a long prelude to this whole thing. So one of the best sites is CoinMarketCap, and I'm going to go through a series of sites. Now I use a plugin on Chrome called OneTab, and what OneTab can do is that you can save all of these sites, and then you can right-click on one tab, and you can actually open up all the sites in kind of one go round. The other thing that you can do is you could save all these sites to like a folder in Chrome, and if you right click on that folder like in your address bar and say open all tabs, it will open up all tabs. So it's kind of a I don't know, trick I learned years ago. So let's go. So what we're looking for first is we're glancing at everything and seeing, as you can see as we go down here, everything's down. So since everything's down, I mean, there's a few things up, right? But you shouldn't concern yourself, and that doesn't mean you should be going out and buying Z Classic. Shouldn't be going out and buy DGD. The time to buy DGD is a couple days ago or a day ago when I mentioned it in the Discord group. Basically, before Bitcoin dips, DGD is a good buy, basically, especially if it's down. But you can see here, ELF is up. ELF's always pumping here and there, right? But look at the general feel of the market, right? Everything's down. So this could change later on today, but this should give you a good indication that it's just not your portfolio. It's just not the things that you've recently purchased or that you're looking to exit, for instance. If we go to the next site, Target Moon. Now, the reason why I like this site is because you'll see here what it does is it breaks down price movements by actual kind of time frame in the past 60 minutes, right? So if I refresh this, because this is no longer accurate, you'll see here, this is the last 5 minutes, this is the last 10 minutes, last 15 minutes, right? So you can kind of get a trend. You can kind of see where things are going, or where they've been. But it also gives you kind of an idea of like, well, what's happening, right? You can kind of glance at this and just kind of see, things at least in the last 1 hour, right? Look at this right here. In the 1 hour are up. I mean, it's 0.5% on a lot of these things, but they're up. So I'm not saying that we're turning around or there's going to be some kind of mini rally here, but you can just look at this stuff and say, look, things are up, right? So you're gauging the market. The next site I like is this site here, which is, and once again, CCOWL. This is more of a signal site. And what that means is that basically it's a site that shares with you signals on various coins, various assets, right? And then it gives you a volatility score as well, and then shows you like the hour, the day, the week, and the month, right? So this, once again, is just something that you can look at. And so, for instance, we have a position on quantum, right? And it's down. We can see here it's down 15%. It's for the week, it's down 13%. So most of the down happened this week. And since we buy downtrends, that's not we're not surprised by that, right? So we buy downtrends. Now today it's even dipped even further. So this is something to look at. So this is one of the things we looked at on quantum, for instance, is that we buy downtrends. We buy when a lot of people are selling. So when you look at that, that's where you can say, well, when you're looking at the chart, you can look at the typical downtrend, typical uptrend, and you can say, well, in a couple days, this is set to kind of reverse and go potentially in an uptrend, right? ICX is another one that we're on right now, and you can see here in the month it's down 37%, the week is down 7%, and today it's down 8%. So, ICX pumps here and there. So this is just, once again, you're looking at this, you're looking at the general feel of the market. This other site, we're actually potentially looking at using this site more, because it's another one that gives signals, and I like the historical aspect of the pricing here. So see the pricing here, you can kind of see, the 120 minute, the 150 minute, once again, it's so hard for me it's harder for me to describe exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for a general feel of the market, a general feel of maybe positions we're in, right? Like salt is a prime example. We have a position in salt. You'll see here it's just been declining every time period, right? So it's just one of the things that we might look at is we might acquire another position in salt given this. Now you can get this with charts, but once again, I'm not, and when I look at this stuff, I'm literally glancing at it, and when something piques my interest, I'm looking maybe deeper, right? So I'm not going in here and really diving in, because that's what charts are for, right? So once again, here's another site, Coins Live. And you say, well, why so many sites? Well, I like to get, even though it's the same assets, right? Each one lays out a little bit differently. Each one gives you a little bit more information or different information, right? And you might see something here, right, that you don't see here, just because it's laid out differently, or your mind is just fresh from something, okay? Once again, we can see most things are down, right? There's a few things up, most things are down, okay? So this site, no. Here's another one. This one's a pretty good site. Once again, when we look at this here, we can see most things are down. And this one I like because it aggregates more of the actual numbers, right? It aggregates, all-time high in US dollars, days since all-time high, percent down. This site I probably should have started with, but this is a pretty good site as far as like aggregating some of this information, because you can kind of say, okay, well, let's say that you're in a ADA position, right? So you can see here we're 70% down from the all-time high. Days since that happened was 45 days, right? So And the reason why the all-time high is important, because when things rally and they rally to new highs, they're always chasing that all-time high, and they're always trying to exceed it. The market and the participants in it, right? They're looking at that because that's the basis for where they're saying, where could this thing go and go beyond. But once again, you can kind of get a general feel of a lot of this stuff too by looking at just like the days since all-time high, and just kind of get a general feel and see, look, I mean, a lot of things are from their all-time highs. As you know, if you're in this market, you know this already, but from their all-time high, you're getting the real numbers, right? You'll also be able to see the dollar figure number and just some more information, right? So I like this site as well. This is really good. There's a, relative size of current market cap over here too. And the final site is CoinLib, and CoinLib is the same type of thing. It gives you a little graph. These other sites give you a graph as well. As you can see here, it looks like, even if you look at these graphs, it looks like, yesterday was an uptrend, right? On a lot of these things. Some of them have dipped since then, but a lot of these things had some uptrends on it, and then everything's down today. But you'll see here on some of these, there's starting to be a little bit of an uptick, right? So, right now, Asia has not woke up, which it'll be Monday for them, right? So that's the other thing you'd be watching for, is how does Asia react? How does the volume for Asia react? How does it, what happens with the altcoins? What happens to Bitcoins and everything else? So hopefully that's clear. I wanted to provide, hopefully I'm providing good information here in this, but basically when you're looking at your portfolio and things seem slow, take some time and look at the overall market before you make any decisions to exit positions, to do anything that psychologically, if you're in a psychological state of mind where you're not thinking rationally, try to take your blinders off and look at the larger picture of the market. Look at the larger picture of what's happening. I guess that's what I'm sharing. Hopefully this video helps. If not, definitely you can ask questions in the Discord group. You'll see links to that down below, and the links to every one of these sites will be listed down below as well.